Welcome to the Because of Jesus podcast. This is the official reboot. It's been a little bit since we've done this, John. We've never done this together.
Right. Something brand new.
A little different, new format. So new topics we're going to talk about. But welcome if you guys are new to our church. Maybe you've watched the old podcast with Pastor Neil. We're kind of rebooting this thing to talk about different things. It was a sermon recap podcast, and not saying that we won't do those from time to time. But we've had some comments and some people like, hey, when y'all bringing the podcast back and things like that. So we're doing it, and we're going to bring it back. And so tell us a little bit, John Mark, what it might look like.
So this is just a great way to just kind of really just talk to the people at Palmetto Street. We'll do different things. We'll recap the sermon sometimes. We will have a special guest on sometimes. Today, I think we're going to just kind of talk about Easter season, everything that was going on at Palmetto Street. And then occasionally we'll have Pastor Neil join us. And as many of you know, that's like getting a wild animal on a leash to get him strapped down to something.
Just to sit in this room for 20 minutes.
Right. So we'll work on that, and we'll have him with us occasionally. But this is just a great way to talk.
Yeah,
to people we'll just kind of let them know what's going on.
Yeah, with specifically, like if you don't go to Palmetto Street, obviously you can listen, and depending on the topic you might be interested in. We'll put the description in the show notes below and in the comments and on the thumbnail for YouTube and things like that. But really, I see this as kind of a pulling back the curtain, seeing some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that if you go to church here, you may or may not see, depending on where you're serving, even where you're sitting. There's a couple things we'll bring up today that it's the process behind some things that people will be like, well, we didn't even know that even happened.
Right.
Some of those things that you might find out that aren't meant to be, that aren't secretive whatsoever, but a
lot of crazy stuff happens.
A lot of crazy things happen to make service happen.
A Sunday at Palmetto Street is very interesting behind the scenes.
So we're going to get started. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to this podcast already, it's just being continued on our current channel. With the sermons that we post every Wednesdays and Sundays. So subscribe to that, share with a friend. And also we have a podcast playlist on YouTube. And so be sure to check those out. If you are watching this one for the first time, be sure to go check out the other ones from previous sermons and special guests. And we'll do some different things here in the future. But as John Mark said, we're going to talk about Easter season. And so Easter, it just wrapped up for us. I know you may be thinking like, hey, did they record this early? No, this is going to release on Wednesday, January. I'm terrible.
We're already struggling.
Wednesday, April 30th. And so you may say, well, Easter ended a week and a half ago. Well, for us, we're going to end today's podcast talking about Palmetto
I'm not
Day.
sure when it's going to end.
That's true.
To be honest with
That's
you.
true.
I'm still trying to clean up and get everything back where it needs to be.
Well, for our conversation today, we're going to end talking about Palmetto Day, which just happened this past Sunday, and so that's kind of our Easter wrap up ending party. But it really started for us Palm Sunday.
Yes.
And so Palm Sunday was an incredible day for those of you that either wasn't in service with us or you maybe, not really sure the behind the scenes what that looks like. Palm Sunday for us, it looks like it's more of a worship production, and production not meaning in a negative sense. It's a lot of worship that day and a lot of regimented reading from scripture and points and things like that. So Palm Sunday was a very incredible day, but also had its challenges too.
Absolutely. Yeah, the service was phenomenal. And, a lot of work goes into it with the choir and band rehearsing, and they're just phenomenal. We can't say enough great things about them. And then the pastor reading down kind of the Easter story, kind of counting it down and organizing the songs to correlate with what he's saying. Just a lot goes into it, but the day started off really eventful, didn't it?
Yeah, the practices and everything leading up, 9:00 service was incredible. It all went really, really smooth. I was feeling so good as the producer of our live stream services director that everything was going to go really good. We had notes and plans and details, and I was really excited. And then we go live anywhere between 10:56 and 10:57. It goes live on Facebook, YouTube, and our website. And we have a countdown. And so all of our camera operators were in place. Everybody that was serving was ready to go. And a lot of things were happening. So we usually have a pre-team meeting, a huddle, and we talk about the service, and we have prayer. And so a lot of things were happening that morning. So I said, hey, go ahead and get in your spots, and I'll pray in our communication headsets. And exactly 3 minutes on the dot from the countdown when we're starting service, 3:00, our entire production room lost power. Everything from TVs to equipment.
This whole half of the church.
The whole back half of the church, not only our room, but also the kids' check-in area, they all lost power. The server room that has all of our internet network equipment lost power. And so you may say, well, that's a big deal for live stream and stuff, and for kids check-in, yeah, it's a big deal. And also our music department, they rely on the network with their stems and pads and things like that. And so it was just, we're calling it the blackout.
Right.
And so we were able to start service, and once we found the issue about a minute or two after it happened, we rebooted everything, and it took about 8 minutes to reboot everything to get us back online. So if you go back and watch that service and you're like, oh, there's something missing, it's because we didn't get started right on time.
Well, you always check the fuses, right? And so the blackout happens, and you look at the normal fuses, but we also have a panel of like these gigantic fuses. And so those are the ones you don't really think to check, but that's what was true.
Yeah,
large fuse.
When we found it, I myself pulled it back and reset it. You could tell it was tripped, and it didn't work. I did it a second time, it didn't work, and we're like, "Hey, where's Trey Larimore?"
Yeah. Trey to the rescue.
So I'm in my headsets talking to my camera people like, "Hey, do y'all see Trey anywhere?" And so he came back. And he did the same thing I did. He just did it way better because it actually
He's an
worked.
electrician. He's a certified electrician, so he knows how to flip a breaker.
So he got it working, and yeah. So
what you guys don't know though is Johnny is very meticulous. I mean, like, he is organized and meticulous to a T. And so when he says like he's going to pray and everybody's in position, like, this man has prepared for this. Like, this is an Academy Award production. I mean, he has put that kind of time into it. And so, when it's time to go live, like, that's his moment, and then the breaker trip. So Johnny is, of course, out of sorts. And I'm at the front door with the greeters. And one TV went out in the front. And so I'm like texting Johnny, hey, the TV's out up here. And he's like, leave me alone. We got a problem back here. We got a major issue back here. And you're worried about a TV. Oh, no, he didn't say it like that. But it was funny. In my mind, I could see Johnny. I could see it clearly.
So a funny moment.
Out.
Once we got everything going back on, and obviously service was going great, and really anybody in the sanctuary probably had no clue it was happening. They had no clue because everything in there was fine, aside from some of the stuff on the stage with the music department. They kind of they made it work until we got everything going like they do. But a funny moment we had. We were a couple songs in, and so our adrenaline's trying to calm down from my adrenaline mainly, and some people in the room that could hear my voice trying to get everything back going. We're all trying to calm down, and then all of a sudden, they're doing a song, and we hear something in the music that we shouldn't be hearing.
Right.
And so I'm gonna play that video like for you now, and just take a few seconds to listen to this. Just happen.
This is the good news. Come on, clap with us.
So what you just heard there is that was Pastor Neil. He decided to turn on his microphone in the middle of the song, and so you just got to hear his glorious voice.
He blessed us.
He blessed us in song, and so that was the second song. Actually, that was the second song of the set that day. And so that was just another, hey, come to Jesus moment. And we couldn't clip that song for you guys. on our new worship channel. But luckily, we were able to clip a lot of songs that day and put on our new worship channel on our worship playlist on our YouTube channel. So that's awesome.
Something really neat.
Yeah.
I love that. We on our YouTube playlist, we have our YouTube channel. We have a worship playlist, so you can just listen to our music, recorded live right here at Palmetto Street. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and four of those songs are from that Palm Sunday. So we were able to gather ourselves back together. The worship department, they're incredible. They're definitely a win that we want to highlight today of just that day of everything happening on Palm Sunday. So we were able to record 4 of those songs, clip those and edit those for you guys, so where you can go back and listen to just that song specifically. And already seeing a great response from that.
But just going back to the pastor, that's like my worst nightmare. Okay, like every time I preach for him, that's why I like the handheld microphone. A lot of people don't know that, but that's why I prefer the handheld, because I'm always worried that somehow that headset microphone will get turned on and my voice will come through the system at some point during worship. So I can't focus on worship. So that's my thing. I always worry about that.
Walker was running sound back here that day, and usually it's pretty safe, especially when music's happening, that pastor will turn it off himself. Every now and then we'll mute him just for sake, but everything just happened that day. Walker had him unmuted, and he decides to turn his microphone on in the middle of the song, and that's what happened. And when that happened,
mess with that stuff.
There was a lot happening there. Also, something that happened with Palm Sunday, not a great thing, a win, obviously with the music department too, but then hospitality ramped up for Palm Sunday.
Absolutely.
We had some music playing as people are coming inside. Brand new golf cart that you found, and
yes. ABW next door came through with a nice limo-style golf cart. So we've been enjoying that. I've already washed it twice, actually 3 times. I washed it. No offense to them, but I'm very peculiar about my cars. So I washed it when we first got it, again, after they just washed it. Then we had it out for the Easter egg day, and I washed it after that because it was dusty, and then I washed it this week because it was dusty from Palmetto Day. So
if
3 washes, and we've only had it a month.
If you need your golf cart washed, just bring it to the church. John Mark's got
No, I'm retired.
He's retired. Well, no, we've seen some really cool things from the hospitality department. Greeters, if you come in our front doors the last few weeks, you've noticed there's been an emphasis there to greet people, to be friendly, and that's what we want to be known for, is one of the friendliest churches, the friendliest church in this region, in this area. And so golf cart's part of that, and we're going to get some logos and some things put on that golf cart too to make it look even that much better. And yeah, so if you haven't been with us yet, hey, maybe park towards the back one day and the golf cart will pick you up, bring you back into the church.
Awesome.
So
that'd be awesome. Depends on who you get as a driver, though, too. Some drivers might be a little more fun than other drivers. They may go a little faster.
No, kind of piling on him there, and you probably won't see him driving.
But it does
on
have seatbelts. It does have seatbelts. So if you're nervous, it has seatbelts.
Yeah. If you see Pastor Neil driving, definitely don't get on the golf cart.
Do not ride with Pastor Neil.
Russell likes to drive that thing around too. So
absolutely, I do too.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, kind of move on from Palm Sunday. Had an incredible day there. Kind of go through the next few events pretty quickly and kind of highlight Palmetto Day at the end. Good Friday was a great service. It was a noon service on Good Friday. Always well attended for a noon service.
Absolutely. You guys, if you haven't been able to come, you need to make sure you try to come to our Good Friday service. It's at noon. We don't start right at noon, so if you're working, we usually actually start maybe 10 after, 5 to 10 after, somewhere in that range. Just giving you guys a little bit of time to get here from work. We do understand that you're, some places are very regimented on their lunch schedule. We understand that. And then we have a little treat for you to take back to your office. We have our good friend Robert and his crew up here cooking hot dogs, and Miss Amy making chili, and we hook you up with a bag to go as you leave.
Yeah, it obviously we have worship and a message from pastor and communion, but it's very mindful of those that are coming in from work. That's probably the coolest thing about it, is we have people that obviously that maybe have the day off for that day with the school systems, and kids are out of school, right, and teachers and things like that, and retired people. But those that are working, is very mindful for you guys to be able to come in and still enjoy your evening that night with your family, especially with the events that we have going on through the weekend too. It's really nice for us to be able to do that. So cups of chili and condiments and different things like that. So makes it easy for you guys to go in and out. And we had a lot of hot dogs left over, which is probably a first.
Right.
We prepared well this year, so
they were delicious.
They were
good.
Yeah, very good. So moving on to the next day after that, the Easter Family Day is a huge event that we have here. Pastor Austin and his team puts this together, and so can't say enough good things about that day. Started at 11 in the morning. We had some challenges with some vendors that dropped on us for behind the scenes stuff, but we had somebody here in the church too that saved the day.
Stepped up, yeah, absolutely. Stepped up and made it a hit.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It definitely would have been a missing piece if we didn't have them out here. Great crowd. We had the donut truck, D's Donuts. We had the coffee truck.
My friend.
Lincoln Brews. I miss anything?
I love the donut truck. I made sure I saw the donut.
my kid's favorite was the balloon guy. He's based out of Hartsville.
The balloon guy was awesome.
Balloon guy and the bubble guy.
The bubble guy was unbelievable.
Yeah,
the bubble guy was, to me, the best value for the day.
One of them's out of Hartsville. I can't remember what, but
man, he showed up with a 5-gallon bucket, some soapy water, and 2 sticks with a string between it. And man, he was a hit.
He had a crowd in 2 seconds.
Yes, he was awesome.
Yeah, Calvin asked me this past week at Palmetto Day when he walked up. He said, "Is the balloon guy here? Is the bubble guy here?" I'm like, "No, buddy, sorry, not for this one."
We might have to have him back.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have those guys back for sure
next year.
The balloon guy had a line all the way till the very end, and we cut it off and made sure that he didn't have anybody staying here till 1:30 making balloons. But great crowd, great organized event by Pastor Austin and his team. And then we all got up. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us got up early the next morning.
Oh yeah, sunrise service. Bright and early. We got here. I got here about 5:30ish or so, and Johnny and Russell. We were all here about the same time, and then we had a special guest, someone who got the times wrong. Our good friend Brother Sawyer. He got the times wrong, so he showed up early. And so we put him to work. He was my coffee guy. He helped me make coffee all morning, so he was an asset. It worked out great.
So we had coffee and sausage wraps and things like that for everybody to show up. Showed up early. We had music from go ahead. This is usually your service.
Oh yeah. So normally I preach, but Judah had been doing a great job here lately, and so I asked him to preach, and I asked Sister Becky Starling to do the music. So her and Beth and Madison sang some older hymns, and Michelle played the keyboard and helped out, and Judah preached and continuously called it a sunset service, which was cool because it was like taking a lot of pressure off of me. I'm usually the one that says something dumb. So I was very thankful for that. But again, a great service. A lot of people here. That service seems to grow a little bit every year. Yep. I cooked 50 pieces of sausage on the night before on my Blackstone griddle at home, and then warmed them up that morning in the oven, and while we were getting ready, and everybody made sausage wraps, good old country style sausage wraps with a little bit of mustard. Yeah, had some coffee, and it was delicious.
Yeah, it was delicious. And I would probably say that at least 95% of those people that were in that service stayed over for our 8 o'clock service.
Yeah, that was perfect. I mean, you got to think about it, guys. You can come to church on Easter Sunday at 8 o'clock, and you can be home by 9:30 on Easter Sunday. That's a cool deal right there.
Yeah.
That's the best deal in Florence right there. You can be home by 9:30 on Easter Sunday.
Yeah, services 6:45, 8, 9:30, and 11. So a long day, but really everything was so good. I don't know the final attendance number. It was over 1,500. Yeah,
we feel pretty confident in that, just from the numbers that we tried to get, and from what Austin reported from the back area. we feel like the total attendance that day was over 1,500. So
Yeah.
that was really cool, really special.
And great crowds, and all of them, even our 8 o'clock crowd, you might think it was a low crowd. It was a great crowd because like I said, most people stayed over from sunrise, and then some showed up at 8, and they maybe served at another service. 9:30 was packed. 9:30 was packed out. 11 was packed out.
You guys did great coming early. Our 11 o'clock people, you guys did great coming early. And we want to encourage you, if you come at 11, the summer is starting, okay?
Yeah.
And I know that you've seen how packed we are at 11. The summer's starting right now. So if you can make that transition to 9 a.m., you would help us out tremendously with freeing up some seats. And for your benefit, you'll be home by 10:30 throughout the summer to enjoy the outdoors or cook a nice meal.
Yeah,
or
beach
take
chairs already loaded.
Yeah, you can have a nap. You have plenty of time for a nap. You can do whatever. So if you come at 11, this is a great time to consider coming.
There's a few of us around the office, and even some others that are here all day on Sundays. Like, if we were just a normal regular attender and we served, maybe a couple places, but 9 o'clock would be where it's at.
Yeah, I would
even all year long.
I would be by the pool by 10:30. I'm by the pool by 10:30 during the summer. Absolutely.
But a great Easter. Some things to celebrate is one, with our youth and kids. You mentioned earlier that our areas in the back and in the sanctuary building, the kids areas, and the gym, and with Joel and Austin and the youth and all the classes that happened. Joel reported to us that we had two teenagers saved, 2 middle schoolers saved. On Easter Sunday, we had 10 rededicate their life, and then Austin celebrated on his social media as well, shared with us that they had 13 kids saved on Easter Sunday, which is an incredible report.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
That's
a
awesome.
lot of great stuff happened this whole entire season. But then we also introduced a translation service where we were able to offer the sermon translated here in-house for anybody that comes in. We have a double-sided tablet up front in our welcome desk, another hospitality item that if somebody walks in and they don't speak any English, that they can come in and communicate with one of our greeters. They can help them, serve them the best they can. And then also during the sermon, they can scan the QR code that we put up on the screen, pop in their headphones, and they can listen to the sermon in their language. So it's a wonderful thing that we've had the last couple of weeks. And if you know somebody that needs that kind of service, they want to attend church, but maybe English isn't their first language, and they want to listen to a sermon in their language, translation word for word, we're able to offer that now. So that's a huge win that we're being able to offer.
Yeah, we have a family from Brazil, and she speaks English a little bit, but we had her try it out to kind of see how it was, and so so she was excited that she can kind of follow along. So it's a great system. If you know someone that wants to come to church and language is an issue, we would encourage you to invite them, have them come a little bit early. They can meet with me or Pastor Johnny or one of the greeters, so we can kind of show them everything. And like I said, it's a double-sided iPad, so we actually can type and talk to each other. So it's a really cool setup. So make sure you reach out if you have anyone like that.
Yeah, we have that service there in the foyer, and then also there's a prompt that comes up on the screen at the beginning of the sermon that they're able to join in that way too. So we try to hit all the areas in case somebody's new and they just walk in and not talk to anybody. They're able to check that out too. So started that Easter Sunday, did it this past Sunday, and we're working through the new stuff. So we're working through the kinks there, but I think we got everything pretty streamlined, ready to go, even on Wednesday nights too. So we'll have that going on Wednesday nights as well. So
that's awesome.
If you guys, even if you attend on Wednesday, it should be ready to go for your translation as well. So, all right, John Mark, we're going to wrap up today with Palmetto Day, kind of what spurred some of our conversation because it's recent. And we'll stick to this for just a few minutes, but Palmetto Day was this past Sunday, just a few days ago. Obviously, because of Jesus Here, because of Jesus Podcast, because of Jesus T-shirts.
Yes.
It's kind of our thing.
Yes.
So we gave out a bunch of T-shirts on Palmetto Day. It's kind of a promotional for us on that night.
I haven't. My wife is bugging me to get the total count, but I have not done that yet. But we gave out. I think we ordered almost 700 T-shirts, and I do not have but maybe 50 or so left.
Just a handful
we
left.
gave out a lot of T-shirts. So it was good. It's always interesting, like, you go through and pick out a few different colors so people have different options. And I threw a color in at the last minute. It wasn't even on my list. At the very last minute, I said, well, you know what? I don't think I quite have enough shirts. I'm going to order these red T-shirts.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there. And man, they went quick.
Yeah.
I mean, they went quick. And so now I'm in trouble with Shannon. I got to order more red T-shirts, stuff like that. So make sure you check out our app.
Yep, Church Center app.
Church Center app. I was lost for words there, John. I've been doing
Yeah, no,
great.
you're good.
I've been doing great on my technology stuff here lately. And
I gotta get something for our next part of our video.
And so make sure you check out our app. We will have some shirts available you can order. Of course, we give them out on Palmetto Day. If you order, there is a charge, but we want to make those red T-shirts available to you. I know a lot of people were wanting those. We also had a great time of just fellowship. We had food. We have a guy coming to church now that owns a food truck called
Fire and Feast.
Fire and Feast.
Catering
he also
company.
does catering.
Yeah.
And he has a food truck. So we've been checking him out down at Eats on the Creek occasionally, and so we invited him to come out, and he donated barbecue sandwiches. That was delicious. Great guy. So make sure you support them. And then, of course, our good friend and faithful chef, Robert Bryan, his brother Chris, and their team. Miss Anna was up here working hard. I know she's the strength behind Robert. But they were all up here working hard and made everything just tremendous.
Yeah, it was a fun day. We had things happening for the kids, things happening for all ages, food and cookies and chips and everything else, and it's getting close to lunchtime, and we're starving up here. So we're talking
Absolutely.
about food. That's why it's kind of like
we're wrapping this up.
Food.
We were wrapping this up, but I saw the games going on to kickball, and
yeah.
I'm retired. I'm a retired athlete. Those days are over.
Yeah, we changed some things.
I just can't do it anymore.
We changed kind of the organization up a little bit because in the past we've done like, hey, the teenagers versus the 20s and 30s versus the 40s, 50s. Last year's event we had a lot. It's a big crowd, and so we pulled everybody out, and it's like we had 40 20s and 30s, and we had 35. So it's hard to do a 40-person kickball team.
Right, yeah. That's
and so
impossible.
this year we kind of did it pickup style, and it went well. It blended the teams together. Some people that didn't maybe know somebody got to know somebody being on their team. So we had a few teams. We did a little round-robin double elimination tournament. And so definitely got to see some people's personalities.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't hide at a sporting event. You cannot hide your personality.
You get to see their competitive nature. Then you get to see the people that really don't care. They're just out there to have fun, and see those two things blend together are always entertaining. And some close games and some competition. And we had a volleyball game happening. I think most everybody, kickball ran so long with the close games that you had some playing volleyball and cornhole and different games like that. The kids had a kickball game and nitro ball and things like that. But there, to kind of wrap things up today, we had a competition that happened
after hours.
After hours.
Yes.
So when everything was cleaned up and ready to go, it still had a little bit of daylight. Usually one of the most competitive people at Palmetto Day did not play kickball. And if you don't know who that is, that's Russell Nelson.
Yeah, Russell.
He likes to talk junk.
Russell, he loves to talk.
And he holds his own. And so, but
he's from Dillon. He's from Dillon now. You got to remember that now. That man's a wildcat. He knows some sports now. He knows.
When we were doing the teams, I was like, I'm gonna make Russell a captain. I go over tell him, hey, we're starting kickball. Come on over. And he's like, nah, I'm not gonna play this year. I'm like, really? Like, it doesn't feel like Palmetto Day without you playing kickball. Right. And so he didn't play kickball, but I feel like he watched and had, he got some competitive juices up.
He got his blood
after
going.
hours. And so I'm going to pull it up here so we can kind of watch together, and you guys will see it on your screen. But Russell decided that he was going to have a foot race with a couple people. So first he raced David Barnes.
Right.
Now, I don't have the video of that. I'm not going to show that because it's not as entertaining because Russell cheated a little bit. He got a head start. They raced twice.
That's Russell too.
It was a close race. But then after racing David a couple times, he's like he wanted to race a teenager.
Yeah.
And not just a teenager, an older teenager started to graduate high school, a high school athlete.
Right.
That's Aiden, the pastor's son. And
Aiden's not known for being
Aiden
fast.
has
That's
a great
not his
arm.
strength. Yeah, it's not his strength.
He's a leader out there on the field.
He can hit a home
but
run.
He's not super fast.
He can throw a fastball. He can throw a football.
He was definitely a pocket quarterback.
He's tough. Now he is tough.
He's a
I saw
pocket
him
quarterback,
run over a guy
or
in
if he
Dillon.
needs to get a few yards, he can do it.
Yeah.
So he
He's
decided
not
to
fast
race
at all.
And so the video we're going to pop up on the screen for you, we're going to kind of watch together and talk you through it, is Russell racing Aiden. And so we're going to throw that up there right now. And so you see Russell, he's ready to go. He's already talked a little bit of junk to Aiden.
Already.
They get ready to go. And Aiden's not wearing shoes, which is a whole other story to begin with.
Probably had on
so they
boots.
get going. Luckily, Russell didn't get the edge on him here. They both started at the same time. Now, you can see it's a pretty close race. Now, right there is where kind of everything kind of went down. And so the video stopped, but this next video, you'll kind of see Russell slow down there at the end. The next video, you kind of saw what happened in between that video stopping and this next one starting.
Our camera person.
That's Russell laid up on the ground over there.
Yeah,
in the
they're
pink.
toting children away.
Yeah,
they don't want children to see it.
You have David Barnes looking over Russell right there in that moment, checking on him and seeing what's going on. Evidently, Russell pulled a hamstring.
Good old David. He's our medical staff person. But yeah, Russell pulled a muscle. And I was already thinking we were going to have to build a wheelchair ramp to get him up on stage. But he's not getting out of work, that's for sure.
We joked afterwards, like, as long as Russell's hands and his voice are good,
right,
we'll be good, ready to go. But he
bless his heart, as they say in the South.
He made his own post on the morning after, saying he decided he wanted to race an 18-year-old, and then he was reminded he was almost 40.
Yeah, so that's right. He turns 40 this month. Yeah.
And so that's just some fun competition, and that's how we wanted to close out this podcast for you guys today, showing you Russell on the ground after racing an 18-year-old. So yeah, we just have a little fun today.
That's a great way to end it, John.
Yeah,
it really is a picture of Russell just laid out on the ground. That's perfect ending.
But once again, thank you guys for joining us today. This is probably going to be one of our longer ones, just because we had a lot of stuff to wrap up and talk about, and we're rebooting things today. And so we'll have some new conversation coming up in the next week or so. We'll try to do this pretty regularly, either every week or every 2 weeks, kind of reboot this back up. So be on the lookout for it on our social media and on our podcast platforms, as well as our YouTube channel. And so remember to share with a friend, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sounds great. Love you guys.